Moving ahead now, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Dr. Chintan Vaishnav, the Mission Director of Atal Innovation Mission, to launch the books. Atal Innovation Mission Niti Aayog is Government of India's flagship initiative to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. It was set up in 2016. Dr. Vaishnav is a senior lecturer in MIT's Sloan School of Management, and he serves as the academic director of MIT Tata Center for Technology and Design. He is also a visiting professor at the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. He has completed his PhD from MIT. And today he will be launching the books on microcontroller programming with Arduino and Julia and microcontroller programming with Arduino and Open Modelica. Sir, Dr. Vaishnav, can you please share your screen and launch these books, sir?
Yeah, you have to just click there.
So this is the book, Microcontroller Programming with Arduino and Julia.
Dr. Vaishnav, are you saying something? Are you on mute?
He has to launch another book as well, no?
Yeah, he has to launch another book also.
All right, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the authors are Sudhakar Kumar, Manas Ranjan Das, Rajesh Kushalkar, Nirmala Venkat, and Kanan Mudgalya. So that's
we missed one person. It will be updated. Chandrasekhar from IIT Madras, I mentioned. Unfortunately, looks like the cover was made before that, so his name also will be included. Yeah, sorry, please continue.
Thank you. All right, so and there's one more to launch.
Yes.
So let's go back to this and say, okay, the ribbon's already cut, so we can maybe relaunch the ribbon. Okay, and here's the second one. Microcontroller programming with Arduino on Open Modelica. This is again some names that you already heard, and I think all of the names you already heard. So great. So congratulations again to FOSSI for this compendium of 4 books that will really help many people, I think.
Congratulations to everybody, sir.
We would like to hear a few words from you about this activity, about as a mission director.
Sure, happy to share a few thoughts. I mean, I was really, again, like Professor Sahasrabuddhe said, I have known Professor Mudgalya for several years, and what I have always really deeply appreciated is the democratic ethos underneath all of the work that he has done. I think those ethos and bringing people together around those ethos is not an easy, it's not a trivial achievement. So first of all, congratulations for that. Again, my greetings to all the respected guests and friends in the audience. Let me say a bit about this books as a maker myself, and why I'm so excited about it. So I am. So my first experience with making was through the famous class at MIT, the How to Make Almost Anything class. So that sort of turned me into a maker. But then subsequently in my own classes, I would teach making largely to bridge the gap between a scientist, an engineer, and somebody on the ground, because a lot of people in the classes that I taught were taking some or the other artifact to underserved communities. And most of the times, they were trying to imagine something that they knew what it was, but these communities really had no idea what it was. And so this idea of making was what was really allowing them to bridge that divide. And that's how, again, I had a experience with making as a teacher. Uh, but I think this particular set of these 4 books, they I think are very important because it is a big service to democratizing this idea of making and tinkering. You might say, okay, how so? So let me pose the question that we are contending with at the Atal Innovation Mission. See, Atal Innovation Mission has this, as you know, has the Atal Tinkering Labs. There are 7,500 of them, which may sound like a large number, and it is a significant number, but we have 1.5 million schools. So now the question is, can this idea of tinkering, making, can we democratize it to the extent where it will reach every single student? It can reach every single student and every single school. Imagine we want to do this in 2 years. Think about that challenge. That is a humongous challenge, right? I mean, one might, in a normal extrapolation of what we've been doing, it may seem like an impossible challenge. Now, now think about the following 3 phases, right? I mean, anybody who's a maker here knows these 3 phases. There is the design thinking phase, right? I mean, all of this is very iterative, but I'm sort of conceptually separating them so that we can think about it separately. Okay, there's the design thinking phase. There is the turning what you have thought into an artifact phase, that is the making phase, right? And then there is the application of this artifact, because you may have one artifact that may have many different applications. So application, it separate these 3 things, right? If you decouple the idea of conceptualizing from constructing, then I think the conceptualization can be democratized much further and much faster as compared to constructing, because the idea of making really is tied to this physical space, and it may be even sometimes held hostage to that physical space, but the idea of thinking is not hostage to that space. Now, of course, as the moment you make this argument, a lot of people said, well, but we're all thinking too much already. We really want mind and hands. Of course, we do want mind and hands. I'm not saying we stop with thinking, but we can teach thinking to people irrespective of the making. That's all I'm saying, right? So the question then is, why doesn't design thinking itself scale, right, easily? So one is, as I mentioned, the hardware, the real estate, the physical lab is tied to a hardware, is tied to a real estate. It's tied to human resources who can teach. And scaling that is much harder, right? Giving it to every student is much harder problem. But but the content itself can scale. Now, there is also a problem there. The content scales, but the pedagogy doesn't scale, right? So there is that problem. And I think the initiative here that we are launching today, it really helps in 2 places. One is this idea of Arduino and cloud. I realize that is coming very soon. But the Arduino on cloud really decouples this idea of having to have a physical space. So that's a wonderful democratizing move, if you would. The second idea, which I thought this whole thing of putting it in a book form where somebody can self-teach the hardware and software. They have enough help so that they jump over the initial difficulty to self-teach hardware and software, and where there is some, and it is democratized with Creative Commons license, it really allows us to democratize the pedagogy of this line of thinking and doing things, right? I mean, that's another huge step. So these two things, decoupling the physical space from the via simulation, and democratizing the pedagogy, I think those two aspects really excite me about what we're doing, what we're launching today. As I said again, there are 7,500 Atal tinkering labs, and I am so always amazed by the amount of energy that these students and teacher exhibit every time I speak to them who work in these labs. And I have really no doubt that these books are going to be a great boon to them. So once again, thank you, Fossey, Professor Mudgalya, for this wonderful effort. I wish it a great adoption. And I also look forward to working together to take things forward.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vaishnav. It was great hearing you.